Welcome back, and I am back with President Trump's personal attorney, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani. There are testimonies that are going to be coming. We know that the Democrats are looking for Bill Barr to recuse himself. They are looking to subpoena. They have subpoenaed Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Have you gotten subpoenaed? Are you expecting to testify? What's next?
I have not been subpoenaed. When I am, or if they call me and ask me if I would testify voluntarily, I'll take that matter up with my client. I mean, they forget about the fact, because they have no regard for constitutional rights, and they treat President Trump as if he has no constitutional rights. I'm his attorney. There's something called attorney-client privilege. That has to be considered, even if they don't think he should have attorney-client privilege. Would I be willing to explain this openly? And did anybody do anything wrong? Absolutely not. The only thing done wrong here is the only thing done wrong here is the cover-up of these charges for 3 years that are very, very serious. These are very serious charges, and they're backed up by sworn affidavits, and they're online. And the Washington press corps trying to protect a Biden like they protected Clinton. And beyond that, the pattern is a pattern of pay for play. It includes something very similar to what happened with the Clinton Foundation, which goes to the very core of what did Obama know and when did he know it? In December of 2015, the New York Times wrote an article, scathing criticism of Biden for putting his son in this conflicted position and compromising his ability to deal with corruption, which, by the way, should be a concern of a future. Yep. Should be a concern of a future president. Question is, when Biden and Obama saw that article about how the son was pulling down money from the most crooked oligarch in Russia, did Obama call Biden in and say, Joe, how could you be doing this?
Yeah, I understand.
Look at what I have.
Right.
How about don't we have hearings? I mean, suppose it was alleged that Donald Trump Jr. got $8 million from a crooked oligarch in Ukraine. How long would it take for the Democrats to investigate us? And how long would it take for the Washington Post and the New York Times to have glaring headlines? And until we cure that, we're going to be a divided country. We're really not in bad faith, that this is really serious, and that I am concerned, as I have been from the time I was an assistant U.S. attorney. I find the sale of public office to be disgusting. And they weren't hiring Hunter Biden. There are 100 reasons why they weren't hiring, including the fact that he's a troubled young man who shouldn't have been put in that position. They were buying Joe Biden. And if he didn't see that, then he's blind. And if Obama didn't deal with it, then he is not the kind of president Donald Trump is, who takes Article 2, Section 3 of the Constitution seriously, and maybe the benefit of the doubt.
Did President Trump hold back aid to Ukraine because he wanted them to investigate Joe Biden and his son?
Isn't the best answer to that the telephone conversation? Although the Democrats said that falsely before it came out, and Schiff pretended that he did in that ridiculously falsified thing that he did at the beginning. Look at the transcript. Is there any mention of military aid? No. Did he hold back the aid? No. No.
Did you work with other lawyers?
I have never, in my discussion.
Did you work with other lawyers, Victoria Tunsing, Joseph DeGeneva, to try to get dirt on Joe Biden?
No. I didn't work with anybody to try to get dirt on Joe Biden. The dirt on Joe Biden was handed to me by the Ukrainians, amazed that the FBI hadn't asked for this a year earlier, completely shocked and worried that our system of justice was flawed.
I guess the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee.
Because Joe Biden announced it publicly, and if you're a lawyer at all, what Joe Biden announced was he offered something of value, $1.2 billion loan guarantee, in order to get the prosecutor to take official action. That's the crime of bribery. And the motive is, if you at least interview the guy, to cover up the case on his son. There were.
You're not getting $1 billion. I said, you're not getting $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch.
disgusting.
I've been
for a
asking the question
Democrat or
about
a
China. I've
Republican
been
to
asking
do
the
it.
question about China for a long time now. The fact that Hunter Biden got $1.5 billion from the Bank of China after he took that ride on Air Force Two with Vice President Biden.
Now, China, I have to say, I didn't investigate. I don't have the affidavits.
Okay.
Here, I have all the proof.
Yep.
What I understand about China is he was actually in a partnership with the Bank of China and with Whitey Bulger's nephew. Now, if you're not going to investigate that, the overriding reason for doing this is if a vice president did this and compromised us in China and in Ukraine.
Yep.
Now, the Chinese government knows why they gave the money. They weren't hiring Hunter Biden's expertise. They were buying Joe Biden. And by the way, for the price of that, they also got John Kerry's stepson. Coincidental?
Yeah,
They
no,
took the
I
money
know
there?
China's ways, and we reported that and reported it.
You can't just say, we're not going to look at that because he's one of our guys. He's part of the club.
You made your point. Rudy Giuliani, it is
And
good
it's
to
so
have you this
similar to
morning.
the Clinton Foundation that there's a pattern here of pay for play. And I'm not going to be silent about it because they intimidate me.
We will
They're
leave it
trying to
there.
intimidate me. They can intimidate me all they want. And the reality is, this is because I represent the President of the United States. I want to show that he's innocent. And I have to admit, I'm disgusted by what I see, and I'm worried about my country having a double standard.